Disney has released their live-action remake of Lilo and Stitch, so now it's time to rank all 5 Lilo and Stitch movies from the worst to the best. And in last place is Lilo and Stitch, the live-action remake. Now, just to understand where I'm coming from, the original Lilo and Stitch came out when I was 4 years old, and I was obsessed with all things Stitch as a child. When the DVD came out, it was the only thing I wanted for Christmas that year, and I owned probably 2 or 3 different DVD copies of it over the years until I upgraded to Blu-ray. When I went to Disneyland for the first time, I got a little Stitch figurine as a souvenir. I went as Stitch for Halloween at least twice, and I watched the TV show every day. So when I heard they were remaking this in live action, I immediately said, why? But I also tried to keep an open mind. Unfortunately, this is the M. Night Shyamalan's Last Airbender of the live-action Disney remakes. It completely misses the point of the original source material and removes any emotion and weight. Which is odd, because the director of this did the movie Marcel the Shell, and that had a lot of emotion and weight. This film is just soulless. The CGI on the aliens is pretty impressive, though. Jumba certainly looks better than I was expecting, and Zach Galifianakis and Billy Magnussen as Jumba and Pleakley can be pretty funny, and they work off each other really well. But the fact that they're aliens in human hologram disguises instead of bad human disguises kind of takes away from the amusement. Gantu isn't in the movie at all. Budget reasons, maybe? And unfortunately, removing Gantu from the story is a huge detriment. Instead, the villain is Jumba, and he doesn't get a redemption arc. Additionally, Stitch is not evil in the film, he's just mischievous. He doesn't cause chaos or destroy things, he just acts rude. Therefore, there is no character arc for him, since he was never evil in the first place. Stitch gets some amusing moments, but those moments just feel like unused material from the original that they put in this version. Cobra is also kind of sort of the villain, but also not really. It's like they didn't really know what to do with him. And the little girl who plays Lilo does a great job, but the way that she's written is so generic. Most of her quirks are gone, and the actress who plays Nani is awful. Oh boy, is she awful. Her performance is either wooden or overacted. There is no middle ground with her. And the character of David has no reason to be in this movie. You take him out, you miss nothing. He's just kinda there. And the message of the movie about Ohana is completely butchered and lost by the end. This movie does nothing to justify its existence. Between this and the live-action Moana remake that's coming out next year, I can't help but wonder if Disney has a timeshare in Hawaii, which is why these exist. Skip this movie, don't even bother showing it to your kids, because they're just getting a vastly inferior version of something much better. Number 4, Stitch the Movie. This is essentially the pilot episode for the Lilo and Stitch series, and it introduces the core premise of Stitch was Experiment 626, so where are the other 625? It's basically Disney's version of Pokemon, with Lilo and Stitch going on weekly adventures to find, tame, and find a purpose for each unique experiment. And as a setup, it works well. Fun, energetic, and filled with potential. While the animation quality is a slight downgrade from the original film, it retains the heart, humor, and lovable chaos that made us fall in love with Lilo and Stitch in the first place. Number 3, Stitch Has a Glitch. This one hits surprisingly hard. While technically a direct-to-video sequel, Stitch Has a Glitch aims higher than most of its kind. It leans into the emotional depth of the original, exploring Stitch's malfunction and mortality as his molecular structure begins to fail. The movie delivers a real emotional punch, especially in the third act, where Lilo is faced with the possibility of losing her best friend. It's not quite as tightly written or visually polished as the first film, but the emotional weight, beautiful score, and mature themes elevate it well above your typical sequel. Number 2, Leroy and Stitch. As someone who grew up obsessed with the show, this was, for 7-year-old me, the equivalent to Avengers Endgame. All the experiments from the series come together for one final showdown against Dr. Hopsterville and his army of Leroy clones, essentially evil Stitch copies in red jumpsuits. The first 30 minutes pack some surprising emotional weight, as Lilo says goodbye to Stitch, Jumba, and Pleakley, who each take positions across the galaxy, only to realize that what they thought they wanted isn't what they needed. Ohana really does mean family. Gantu in 625, who gets renamed Reuben, gets surprisingly solid redemption arcs too. Now the final battle is a bit rushed and Deus Ex Machina, but as a finale to the series, it's a satisfying, heartfelt resolution. And number 1 is the original Lilo and Stitch, a true gem. This is one of Disney's most unique and emotionally resonant animated films. It's not just about a girl and her alien, it's about loss, loneliness, found family, and the messy, beautiful bonds that hold people together. Lilo is one of the most honest portrayals of a grieving child ever put in animation, and Stitch's arc from destructive weapon to loving family member is tender. Add in an awesome Elvis soundtrack, beautifully lush watercolor backgrounds, and a healthy dose of Hawaiian culture, and you have something special. It's quirky, heartfelt, and utterly unforgettable. No matter how many spin-offs or sequels they make, nothing will top the original's balance of chaos and compassion. Try and share your ranking of the Lilo and Stitch movies, or at least the ones that you've seen. You may not be familiar with the sequels and series, and you haven't seen them. I highly recommend it, and we'll see you next time.